Uniform Required Provisions. NAIC Uniform Individual Accident and Sickness Policy Provisions Law. That last word is important. Each one of these features are required by law. There are, for example, the required provisions of the entire contract clause, meaning if you ever have to go to court, you have to have the application and you have to have the contract so that the judge would be able to compare the two to see where any errors or discrepancies might arise. Time limit on certain defenses. If you see this term on an exam question, remember it has to have something to do with a health product. It is very, very similar to the incontestability clause on life products, but in the health industry, it's referred to as the time limit on certain defenses, usually the first 2 years of a contract. You have a grace period. All policies have a grace period. Thing to remember, grace periods, you have coverage during that time. It's giving you kind of added grace, added time to pay that missed premium. Renewal. Policies have different ways of being renewed. They all have to have some type of renewable feature or non-renewable feature. Reinstatement, meaning if a policy were to lapse, say for example you didn't pay that premium after the grace period, there's nothing left. The policy is then gone. It has lapsed, so you can apply for reinstatement. Notice of claim. That's basically when an insured notifies the insurance company that they are going to be filing the claim. Usually you're asking for maybe a claim form from the insurance company. Claim forms are what the insurance company would then provide you with in order to give them all the pertinent information that they would need to settle a claim on your behalf. The proof of loss. The actual proof of loss is that completed claim form that you get from the insurer. You complete it and you return it to them for processing. The time payment of claims, there is a certain structure and numbers of days for things to be done in the proper order. You can't wait like years before you were to turn in a claim, for example, and an insurance company can't take an indefinite amount of time to decide if they're going to pay your claim or contest your claim. So we'll talk about that more later. Payment of claims, again, it is the insurance company's contractual obligation to pay a claim as long as it is a valid claim. Physical examinations and autopsies. You might be required to go through some type of physical examination, blood work, things like that, or even more intense depending upon what type of thing you're applying for. And then also in some states it's allowable for an insurance company to have an autopsy performed, for example, perhaps to determine if you truly did die or pass away due to, say, an accident. Legal actions, of course, you always, if you don't have a claim settled properly or it's taken too long, you always have the option to file, a legal claim. Change of beneficiary. You always, if you're the owner of a policy, remember you control the policy, and one of those things that you control is the beneficiary.